Hi, I'm Elephant. The anime recap for today is The Rising of the Shield Hero. In another world, the guy purchases a demi-human girl. He doesn't anticipate demi-human to grow up very quickly. The little girl soon turns into a gorgeous woman with a hot figure who falls in love with him. The stunning woman has special magic tattoos on her body that allow the guy to give her any instructions. Let's look at the fascinating stories that will unfold between them. Naofumi, the male protagonist of the story, is initially simply a typical college student. He doesn't have any specific interests, yet he enjoys reading fantasy books in the library. He reads a vintage fantasy book in the library on this particular day. The tale tells about a different Earth that is frequently assaulted by terrifying creatures called the waves. The inhabitants of this world summon 4 heroes who each wields a different weapon to combat the waves: a sword, a spear, a bow, and a shield. Naofumi is actually being called into the realm of the story at this very time. The locals claim that he is the shield hero and that he is holding a shield in his hand. 3 more heroes have also been called by the king of Melromark. Along with Naofumi, the 4 heroes will work together to assist Melromark in fending off the approaching waves. The 4 heroes usually can't team up together, as they can't gain experience points when they fight together, so the 4 heroes must form their own teams. During the night, Naofumi and the other 3 heroes talk about Earth. Then they find out that they are from parallel universes. They are all familiar with the history of this world. However, the other 3 heroes know it from the video game, while Naofumi only knows it from the book. As the shield hero may not attack fiercely but has a great defense, the other 3 heroes are aware that he is the slowest to level up, but Naofumi is unfazed since he thinks that as long as his comrades are the ones carrying out the assault, he too may explore another world. The next day, the king brings a group of adventurers. 4 heroes will be selected by them to serve as their captains. However, none of these adventurers picks Naofumi. The shield hero is not considered to be powerful enough by them all. Naofumi is embarrassed since no one wants to be his partner despite the fact that he is the hero who needs teammates the most. A stunning mage unexpectedly declares her desire to join Naofumi's team at this point. Naofumi is touched and pleasantly delighted. The king then gives a commission to every hero, which they can spend to purchase their first set of weapons. Malti leads Naofumi to a famous blacksmith shop. Nevertheless, when Naofumi goes to purchase weapons, he learns that the only weapon he may use is the shield he is holding. After purchasing armor, Naofumi leaves the city with Malti to take on the weakest balloon monsters. While the other heroes have dispatched several balloon monsters, Naofumi takes a long time to defeat just one. Monsters that are killed leave behind resources that the hero may utilize to improve his weapon with. Following the combat of the day, Malti buys Naofumi some equipment of a higher level, and they enjoy supper at the inn. Malti invites Naofumi to drink, but he refuses since he doesn't enjoy alcohol. Naofumi goes back to his room after supper to relax, but he does not anticipate that when he wakes up, all of his possessions, including his money, have vanished. To make this situation worse, Naofumi is also taken into custody by a group of troops. Naofumi is brought in front of the king, who wants to sentence him. As it turns out, Malti claims that Naofumi broke into her room and coerced her into doing a humiliating act. Moreover, Naofumi is taken aback to see that the spear's hero is wearing his gear. The spear's hero informs Naofumi that Malti gave him these, and it appears that Malti is the same person who took Naofumi's belongings. Afterward, Naofumi understands that Malti tricked him in order to frame him. No one thinks Naofumi has been wronged at this stage. Naofumi wants to leave this world so badly that he even considers going back to Earth. Naofumi must travel alone until he completes the assignment of destroying the waves, since doing so is the only way to return to Earth. Normally, the king ought to imprison Naofumi, but he also needs Naofumi to help him battle the waves. Thus, the king simply informs the entire nation that the shield hero is a scumbag. Naofumi has to set out alone to fight Warcraft to collect materials. Now that the whole Melromark populace despises Naofumi, which makes him furious. But despite this, he doesn't feel lost. He doesn't have to worry about his reputation while dealing because everyone thinks he's filthy. Naofumi will beat up any businessmen who attempt to cheat him before giving him what he deserves. Naofumi has several unique advantages as a shield hero while having a relatively poor attack strength. Naofumi is talented in auxiliary abilities like casting and gathering in addition to defense. Naofumi will also use certain balloon monsters as weapons to help him attack. This is observed by a slave trader, who suggests Naofumi purchase a slave. Naofumi initially didn't want them because he has recently been deceived by a teammate, but he makes the decision to purchase a slave as a partner after learning that slaves cannot betray their owners. Naofumi can only afford the weakest slaves. Naofumi ultimately settles on a demi-human female from the Raccoon clan. Each slave has a mystical tattoo on their body that allows the master to command them and prevents them from ever betraying the master. Raphtalia, a demi-human girl, is terrified of Naofumi since her former owner was vicious and frequently abused her. But Naofumi buys Raphtalia and gives her decent care. Naofumi provides Raphtalia with supplies and weapons while also teaching her combat skills. Only when Raphtalia is too afraid to fight will Naofumi use orders to get her to fight with all her strength. Naofumi and Raphtalia share the same dish when they eat. Raphtalia is shocked to watch her master have the same meal for the first time as a slave. Raphtalia finds out later that Naofumi is the shield hero. Raphtalia heard her parents explain that the shield hero is a hero who treats demi-humans properly, despite the fact that others in Melromark discriminate against them. Naofumi will never see her parents again because they passed away. At night, Raphtalia occasionally dreams of her parents being killed, and when she wakes up crying, Naofumi hugs and comforts her. Raphtalia gains fighting experience under Naofumi's guidance, and both she and Naofumi level up. The shield in Naofumi's hand will instantly change into a new shield and provide new skills as his level rises, allowing him to use different kinds of shields. Naofumi then takes Raphtalia on a new adventure in a mine filled with creatures. Raphtalia's parents were slaughtered by canine-like beasts before the waves arrived. They come upon the canine-shaped beast in the mine once more on this day. Initially, Naofumi could only use his body to fend off the canine-like beast's attacks since Raphtalia was too terrified to engage in combat with them. Raphtalia musters the courage to destroy the canine-like beasts with Naofumi's support. After this, she overcomes her inner fears and becomes stronger. The demi-human clan is known for its members' rapid growth as they level up. Raphtalia eventually transforms from a little child to a stunning young woman. Naofumi and Raphtalia put forth a lot of effort during this period to take on assignments and earn a lot of money. Naofumi switches to a great set of gear, and although it makes him a bit like a barbarian, the attributes of the equipment are very good. The four heroes must get together on this day and travel together from the capital to the location where the waves congregate. All four heroes are transported close to a settlement a short while later. Several monsters have descended from the sky to assault the general residence as the sky has turned blood red. Every time a boss appears among the waves, the four heroes must beat the boss in order to stop the waves. No one comes to the help of the villagers while the other heroes and kingdom armies proceed to battle the boss. Only Naofumi is left to defend the people in the end. The people subsequently learns that the shield hero is not an infamous scumbag. In order to fight monsters, Naofumi baits them to climb the watchtower before setting it on fire. As they observe Naofumi defending the villagers, several soldiers who are marching to the battlefield decide to remain behind and assist him. The monster is eventually vanquished and the waves are gone thanks to the other heroes. The majority of the village's residents remain alive because of Naofumi's protection. Raphtalia is moved by the fact that the children in the village do not experience the same tragedy as her because of her and Naofumi's assistance, which enables her to find purpose in life. The four heroes are invited by the king to a feast after the war. Halfway through, Malti discreetly criticizes Naofumi to the hero of the spear. As a result, the hero of the spear misinterprets Naofumi once more, thinking that he treats Raphtalia horribly since she was made a slave by Naofumi. The hero of the spear offers a duel with Naofumi, and if the hero of the spear wins, Naofumi will remove Raphtalia's tattoo. Naofumi ignores Spear Hero's provocation when the king sends someone to intercept him, and compel him to engage in a battle with the hero of the spear. The duel then begins, and the hero of the spear's attack is defended by Naofumi. But Naofumi's strike power is insufficient to overcome the spear hero. Naofumi, however, releases several balloon monsters from his cloak. Even though the hero of the spear cannot be defeated by the attacks of these creatures, he can be harmed. When the hero of the spear is trapped behind a spherical shield by Naofumi using a jail spell, he is unable to defend himself and has totally fallen into the downwind. Abruptly casts a spell at this point to approach Naofumi covertly. The hero of the spear finds an opportunity and wins the duel. Naofumi objects to the king, but he is surprised to learn that Malti is the king's daughter. The king appoints the hero of the spear as the winner and then dispatches someone to have Raphtalia's tattoo removed. This greatly hurts Naofumi, who assumes that Raphtalia would undoubtedly turn on him like everyone else. Raphtalia, however, refuses to do so and willingly decides to stay with Naofumi. Naofumi is so touched that he and Raphtalia hug each other tightly, vowing never to separate. The king is meant to reward four heroes after the completion of the waves, but he won't give Naofumi his share. Thankfully, the spear hero's cheating in the battle was exposed by both the sword hero and the bow hero, who noticed that Naofumi did not treat Raphtalia unfairly. They also spotted Naofumi defending the villagers. They helped Naofumi win the award money he deserves. After leaving the palace, they go to the slave trader's store, where Raphtalia gets her trust-signaling magic tattoo redone. Following that, Naofumi uses the award money to pay the slave merchant for a magic egg. Several different magical pets, even strong pets like dragons, can hatch from the magic eggs. Unfortunately, Philolial, another potent magical pet, hatched from Naofumi's magic egg instead of a dragon. Naofumi names the Philolial Philo and takes her on adventures ever since. As Philo is growing up quickly, Naofumi will soon be able to ride her on adventures. On this day, Naofumi travels through a village that is handed to the hero of the spear by the king. The spear hero charges a significant amount of taxes, which makes the locals suffer. In an effort to get revenge on the hero of the spear, Naofumi also confronts him. Instead of duels, they participate in riding contests this time. If the hero of the spear fails, he will have to give up on this village. The hero of the spear's mount is a dinosaur, and he thinks his dinosaur must be faster than Naofumi's Philolial. However, after the start of the race, Naofumi's Philolial maintains the lead at a faster pace. So Malti sends mage troops to interfere with Naofumi with spells on the way. But Naofumi and Philo prevail in the end thanks to their might. The villagers give Naofumi a carriage as a token of appreciation for defending their village by defeating the hero of the spear. In order for him to do business across different places, Naofumi allows Philo to pull the carriage. Naofumi is even more surprised to see that Philo has changed into a female with wings when he wakes up that morning. It turns out that Philo, who possesses more potent magical abilities and can change into a human, is the queen of Philolial. Naofumi has to find Philo some unique clothing because the differences between her human and bird forms are so considerable. Otherwise, Philo's clothing will be ripped if she turns from a human to a Philolial. The clothing store's tailor can create outfits that can be altered to fit the shape of the human body, but she is lacking some materials, so Naofumi must travel to the dungeon to get supplies and materials to dress Philo. He encounters several sick folks on his way. Luckily, Naofumi can help these patients since he has the capacity to increase the effects of medication. As a result, Naofumi gains a solid reputation. Naofumi also learns the art of working with diamonds from a gem dealer. In addition, the gem dealer informs Naofumi that the items he needs may be found in a dungeon. So Naofumi joins forces with a witch and they both enter the dungeon. Naofumi comes across a strong monster here, and he and his friends ultimately cooperate to defeat it. Naofumi asks the tailor to assist in making Philo's outfit once he has the necessary materials. Instead of being torn, the outfit becomes a bow ornament as Philo transforms into Philolial. Naofumi learns unexpectedly that a village requires a lot of herbicide when he is traveling. He purchases a lot of herbicides to resell in that village. As Naofumi visits the village, he discovers that the predicament is considerably worse than he anticipates. There are plant-like monsters that attack residents of the area. Naofumi and his friends battle the plants. They discover that plants are difficult to destroy at first since they recover fast from damage. Then Naofumi realizes that he can also make herbicides work better by enhancing their effects. They are able to destroy the plants and protect the village with the use of herbicides. They then arrive in a city with lots of hot springs. Given Philo's young age, Naofumi takes excellent care of her. Naofumi used to look after Raphtalia in this way when she wasn't yet a grown-up. Raphtalia is envious of this and tries to get Naofumi's attention. Raphtalia resolves to look for it and present it to Naofumi after learning that there is a gemstone in the neighborhood forest that is ideal for couples. Coincidentally, Philo learns that a tasty bird egg can be found in the surrounding woodland and she wishes to give Naofumi this ingredient. So the two go to the neighboring forest together. When they do locate the gem and bird egg, a wild boar monster attacks them. Bird egg and gem are destroyed by wild boar monsters, which makes them very angry. Therefore, the two jointly slay the boar monster and exchange its body for a sizable bounty. They purchase a gift for Naofumi with the bounty, much to the joy of Naofumi. Naofumi visits a village sometime later. Practically everyone in this area has become infected with the plague. As Naofumi happens to have medicine on hand, many of the villagers heal after purchasing it from him. Yet according to Naofumi, administering medication only improves some of the villagers' health. To fully eradicate the disease, he also has to stop its source. The local doctor informs Naofumi that while the sword hero killed a nearby dragon a month prior, he neglected to dispose of the monster's carcass. The dragon's carcass released a potent poison as it decayed, but the villagers do not dare to dispose of the carcass since there are numerous monsters in the dragon's lair, which finally causes the plague. Naofumi visits the dragon's lair after learning about this. He doesn't anticipate the dragon's carcass moving at all. Once transforms into a zombie dragon, the deceased dragon attacks Naofumi. While attempting to save Naofumi, Philo gets swallowed up by the zombie dragon. For the first time, Naofumi is so enraged that he activates a brand new talent called the Cursed Shield. When Naofumi uses this ability, he may unleash devastating assaults but suffers from temporary insanity. Naofumi uses the Cursed Shield to inflict damage on the zombie dragon before regaining his senses in Raphtalia's arms. Because of her interaction with Naofumi, Raphtalia is cursed. Luckily, Philo is still alive. She finds the magic stone in the belly of the zombie dragon, and after taking the magic stone, the zombie dragon is killed. Naofumi ends the plague, but Raphtalia falls ill from the curse. Naofumi has to purchase holy water from the city's church in order to treat Raphtalia's illness. Before leaving the village, Philo offers the zombie dragon's magic stone to Naofumi, who absorbs it and gains a potent attack skill. Naofumi and his companions encounter a little girl as they travel back to the capital. This young girl really adores Philo. When she learns that Philo can become human, she is even happier. Naofumi then learns that the little girl, Melty, is separated from the family guards on her way back to the capital. Thus, Naofumi decides to accompany Melty to the capital. Melty and Philo become close friends. Melty gets accustomed to resting in Philo's feathers at night. Soon, the journey is over and Naofumi returns to the capital, where he says goodbye to Melty and takes Raphtalia to the church. Even though the members of the church despise Naofumi, they nonetheless sell him holy water in an effort to soothe him. When Naofumi encounters the hero of the spear, he has just left the church. The spear hero has always regarded Naofumi as a villain, so when he learns that Naofumi and Philo have entered the city, he assumes that Naofumi has abducted Philo. The spear hero battles Naofumi once more, inflicting harm on several nearby residents. There are soldiers who want to stop the duel, but Melty claims that the duel is approved by the king. At this time, Melty suddenly appears, and she orders the soldiers to stop the duel immediately. That's when Naofumi learns that Melty turns out to be Malty's sister, the other princess of Melromark. Later, Philo transforms into Philolial in front of the hero of the spear, revealing to him that she is not a human female. Naofumi is immediately hesitant to trust Melty after finding out who she is. Naofumi has previously been falsely accused by the king and Melty, making him suspicious of the royal family. Yet, Melty is actually closer to the queen, and the queen has no grudge toward the shield hero. After a lot of effort, Naofumi's level has now reached the top of the current profession. They need to go to the church's hourglass to get promoted if they want to keep leveling up. The hourglass serves as both Wave's timer and an advertising tool, but the church is informed by the king that Naofumi cannot be advanced. Furious, Naofumi exits the church and inquires with the slave dealer about alternative means of leveling up. The slave dealer informs Naofumi that he may go to other countries that have the same hourglass in order to complete it. Nevertheless, since visiting other countries takes a lot of time and the following waves are just a few days away, Naofumi has to drop the plan. In order to slightly improve the team's fighting effectiveness, he has to purchase certain equipment. The waves haven't even arrived, yet Naofumi already has a sizable following. They are prepared to assist the shield hero since they are aware of his virtue. With everything ready, Naofumi takes on the second waves. Naofumi orders his followers to support the nearby villagers in fending off the monsters based on the knowledge he has gathered from the previous waves. It just so happens that the locals include a few retired who are likewise capable of defending the village. When Naofumi notices the villagers are secure, he leaves the village and travels to the boss's location, a floating boat. Now, the other three heroes are engaged in battle with the boss minions, but the boss does not materialize no matter how many times they succeed in taking down these subordinates. The three heroes argue and even quarrel among themselves while fighting. They don't stop bickering till Naofumi shows up. When Naofumi examines the boss ship more closely, he notices some odd shadows. Everyone attacks these shadows until the boss emerges. Unfortunately, this boss resembles a creature that has taken the shape of a soul. And aside from Naofumi, the other three heroes' attacks appear to only cause minimal damage. The boss will eventually be defeated even if they keep fighting in this way. But Naofumi chooses to use the cursed shield once more because of concern that the fight would last too long and the villagers won't be able to repel the other monsters. Naofumi's cursed shield gains power after ingesting the zombie dragon's magic stone, but it also causes the cursed shield side effects to intensify. Everyone pitches in to combat the boss, and by some time as Naofumi loses his mind as a result of side effects. The boss is subsequently put to death by Naofumi using a steel cage. The other three heroes are so taken aback that they didn't anticipate Naofumi to suddenly surpass the other three in strength. The fact that there are several bosses and the second boss unexpectedly emerges on the ship further surprises everyone. The boss is slain by a mystery lady named Glass in the next instant, as Naofumi is the only other hero who can compete with Glass, who is obviously the strongest of all the heroes. Glass confronts Naofumi right away. Glass informs Naofumi that their fight will be the final fight of the waves. Naofumi understands how strong Glass is, thus he won't be attacking recklessly. Glass effortlessly beats the other heroes that attempt to fight her. Next, Glass hits Raphtalia, but Naofumi uses his shield to deflect the blow. Taking advantage of the situation, Philo and Raphtalia begin to fight back, but Glass is unaffected by their attacks. Again, Naofumi must utilize the cursed shield to combat Glass, but it is powerless against her. To put an end to the duel and eliminate Naofumi, she effortlessly crushes the steel cage. As Naofumi learns that Waves is going to end due to the boss death, he decides to ride Philo and flee. Glass vanishes along with the end of the waves. As Naofumi surmises, this time, the waves don't inflict any significant harm, and the nearby people make it out alive. Naofumi is aware that the world would certainly annihilate if he is murdered by Glass before the following waves arrive. Therefore he must strengthen himself in advance. The king now dispatches a messenger to bring Naofumi to him. Not only does he not award Naofumi, but he also asks why he has suddenly grown more powerful than the others. Naofumi is enraged and is no longer afraid of the king at this point. The king is informed by Naofumi that he may now assassinate the king and drive out all of the troops to depart the capital. He also warns the king not to impede him any longer if he wants to live. When the king learns this, he is incensed, but he can only put up with it. Naofumi then leaves Melromark to prepare for leveling up in other countries. Shortly after, Melty chases Naofumi, wanting to fix the relationship between the royal family and him. When Naofumi is ready to object, he learns that the troops who are pursuing Melty are out to kill her. Melty is quickly shielded by Naofumi. The rise of the shield hero comes to a conclusion here. As Naofumi enters another world, it is sad that he suffers a cruel betrayal, yet he is also fortunate in that he encounters betrayal, which makes him logical and cold. This enables him to easily adjust to a new environment and ultimately emerge as the most powerful hero. Naofumi is also lucky to have supporters who won't desert him. He is viewed as a loved one by both Raphtalia and Philo. Even though Naofumi still has a lot of adversaries at this point, he is strong enough to no longer be afraid of them. He will undoubtedly make those who have deceived him pay in the upcoming plot, and I think it will be thrilling. Also, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will bring more cool anime recaps. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.